On September 3, 2016, the Delta Fair in Memphis was bustling with energy when all hell broke loose. Everything seemed to be going just fine. That was, until 14 people were suddenly thrown into the air from the Moonraker ride while it was still moving. What led to this unforeseen incident? Was it just a freak accident, or was there something sinister at play? And who is to blame? This is the tragic tale of the Delta Fair Moonraker ride that sent many to the emergency room with broken bones. Let's visualize the infectious energy of the eager crowd at the fair that day. One could feel and smell the joy and excitement in the atmosphere as children ran around giggling and playing with each other. There were so many rides present that day, but the one that stood out promised a thrill of experience and fun. Moonraker had its towering structure dominating the skyline, capturing the attention of everyone. And it wasn't just a ride, it was a showstopper. One could even call it an adventure that offered those who dared to get on a momentary escape from reality by lifting them into the sky and then swinging them back down. Friends could be seen encouraging each other, families gathering together, and the young and the old alike standing in line, ready for the ride of their lives. Laughter and excited chatter filled the air as they started to board. Their faces were mixed with anticipation and pure delight. However, unknown to these thrill-seekers, the machinery that powers disaster stood, looming about, waiting for a moment to strike. Apparently, the computer controlling the ride detected a glitch, but no one had any idea. Now picture this. You're strapped into the seat, your heart pounding in rhythm with the clattering mechanics of the ride as the Moonraker slowly moves upwards. You can feel your stomach flutter with excitement and nervous anticipation. You're on the verge of excitement, completely unaware that the very system designed to protect you has just identified a fault. This was the sad case for every unfortunate person on that ride. Suddenly, the roller coaster was suspended in mid-air, and just when the ride was at its peak, 30 feet above the ground, there was a jarring halt. It appeared as though time itself had stopped for a split second before the ensuing terror. Something had gone terribly wrong. In the control booth, the ride operator tried to fix things as he read the alert flashing on his screen. Panic set in, his breath came out in ragged gasps, and his hands shook. Now, that shaking hand, in a desperate attempt to regain control, triggered an unforeseen disaster. In a desperate attempt to regain control, he hit the manual override, releasing the safety belts. Just imagine the heart-stopping terror as the belts snap open, leaving nothing between the passengers and a dangerous drop. Suddenly, the thrills of the fair were replaced with screams of terror. People hung onto their seats, their knuckles white with the effort. Among them was Anna Jordan, a girl who had simply come for a fun day out at the fair, now stuck in a nightmare. She was still in the air with the ride tilted to the side when her safety belt became undone. She held onto her seat. Her fingers almost slipped, and her heart pounded as gravity tugged at her. She tried to hold on, but she couldn't. She fell to the side. Her body slammed into the cold metal of the Moonraker. In the wake of such a shocking incident, what happened next? Help came through, and the ride was slowly brought down. Everyone walked out of the ride with their hearts in their hands. But the amazing fact was that no one fell, and they all walked out with their feet. As the dust settled, the initial storm of reports would have anyone believe that 14 people were thrown from the ride. But is that what really happened? In the chaos and confusion, the truth often gets stretched. Contrary to initial statements, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office confirmed that nobody was thrown. But does that mean everyone was safe? Not quite. 8 fairgoers went to the hospital. Among them, the operator himself, crippled by a panic attack. How would you feel knowing your mistake led to such a disaster? But let's shift our focus to those in the eye of the storm. We have Shane Manso, another rider who, despite the fear, clung to life. Shane never thought he would make it out alive, finding himself in that harrowing situation only to come out with nothing but the memory of it was a blessing. God was watching over me, he said, his voice laced with gratitude for a second chance at life. Amidst the chaos, there were tales of heroism too, like Cody Green, who was not just a friend but a lifesaver. He rushed to his friends, calmed them down, and pulled them back from the edge of panic. Despite the shock and the fear, he took charge. Now, what does the official line say? We've heard from those who were there, those who felt the fear, and now it's time to hear from those behind the scenes. Fair officials stood firm in their statement that there were no broken bones and no one was thrown from the ride. They insist no one fell from the ride. Once the ride stopped, everyone walked away. Now, let's turn our attention to the man responsible for safety at the fair, Matt Snyder, the director of safety. With an air of authority, he affirmed that the ride was inspected multiple times every day and that it had passed those safety inspections. Yet, despite all precautions, the unexpected occurred. Human error happens, he says. But is that acceptable? When we put our trust and our lives in their hands, do we sign up for these errors? In the face of controversy and questions, a decision was made. The ride was shut down, not for a day, not for a week, but indefinitely, until an independent inspector can scrutinize the ride. Changes in safety measures are promised. Will it be enough? Can such accidents truly be prevented? Or are we just riders buckling in, hoping for the best? As we navigate the aftermath, we find a web of personal resolutions. Traumatic experiences often lead to change, don't they? There's Hannah, only 13 years old, a young girl who faced a life or death situation and came out alive. "I'm really thankful," she says, her voice a hushed whisper. Just imagine, what if she hadn't survived? How would her parents have coped with the grief? How would her family have handled such a loss? "I guess it just wasn't my time," Hannah adds, a chilling testament to the close call she had. How many of us can truly grasp the gravity of her experience? Then there's Cody Green, a hero in his own right, who rushed to his friends in their moment of need. His friends, despite their injuries, are alive and well. A sigh of relief indeed. But has the ordeal changed him? No, not anytime soon, Green firmly asserts when asked about a return to the fair. His decision mirrors that of many others, and the shadow of the accident looms large. But will this aversion fade? Or has the fair lost its charm forever for these once eager attendees? Remember, these are not mere statistics. They're people, real people who went for a day of joy and got a lifetime of trauma. What would you do if you were in their shoes? Would you be able to return to the scene of such a haunting memory? Or would you say goodbye to a life of fun and excitement forever? In the blink of an eye, a joyous occasion can turn into a harrowing ordeal. It can make you question the very fabric of safety, even in the most blissful moments. The Delta Fair of September 3rd, 2016, served as a stark reminder of the unpredictability of life. A day of fun at the fair, a thrilling ride on the Moonraker quickly turned into a nightmare. It wasn't supposed to happen, was it? But it did. We've delved into the gripping fear, the ensuing chaos, and the scary feeling of impending doom. We heard from brave survivors who, despite the trauma, found the strength to share their experiences. Their stories are a haunting reminder of what went wrong that day. But these stories are more than just recounts of a terrifying event. They are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. We heard about those who, when faced with the unimaginable, chose courage. People like Cody Green, who amidst the chaos, took it upon himself to help his friends. It's inspiring, isn't it? Let this story be a reminder that safety is not to be taken for granted. Let it remind us to hold on to the people and the moments we cherish, because life, as we've learned, can be as unpredictable as a ride on the Moonraker.